morning, everybody. Welcome back to Six Pennies podcast. This is we got all six pennies here. It's Pocket Change Thursday. Hopefully your favorite day of the week. Today we're going through 3 questions from you guys, so let's go ahead and get started. First one comes from our friend Johnny Guo. He asks just for kind of behind the scenes look at what it takes to create a podcast. So Albert, you want to kind of spell it out real quick for him?
A lot happens behind the scenes. But basically, we try to get into a quiet room or quiet area, each of us, me, Timmy, and Mock, and then we get on a Skype call, and that's when I start recording using the GarageBand app on my MacBook. I record and edit, and then Timmy converts it and uploads it onto YouTube, and then Mock is our social media director and promotes everything.
All right, Timmy, what do you think about that?
I think it is a really not streamlined or easy process.
It's really hard.
It relies a lot on all of us doing our jobs at a specific time. It is inefficient and not ideal. That's what I think about it.
Yeah, and as far as content, I know a lot of people ask me about like, where do you guys get the ideas, and then once we get the ideas, how do you guys know what to talk about, and how do you guys talk so much or for so long? And we basically just do a lot of prep work on Google Docs. We like write out the topic, and then column for Timmy, column for myself, and then column for Mock, and we just put in whatever we want to put in. We try to prep like we try not to write too much because we don't want to seem like we're reading off a script. So we just do a lot of like guidelines and stuff like that.
Yeah. So before we were doing this, I thought we were doing it really ghetto, like in terms of the Skype thing. But turns out the more research we did, the more reading we did on just podcasting in general, we realized that pretty much everyone records on Skype, which was surprising to me. Other people just, have a lot better equipment, mics and stuff like that. But yeah, Skype is kind of the go-to app.
Yeah, I mean, there's different ways we could use Skype, like where we recorded each of us on each of our ends and then blend the audio tracks together.
Whoa.
Using some sort of software, but that's way too advanced for us. Albert, our chief technology officer, refuses to go that far, and then all of us refuse to spend any money. So that's partially why we're not on iTunes, why we're not on YouTube, and why the sound quality is often pretty poor. But hopefully our content is okay. Like Albie said, we prep on Google Docs, and I know like Albie doesn't really like to prepare as much. He likes to go off the cuff, but I don't know. He always enters in the most information in Google Docs, and lately I've just stopped entering anything when it's simple questions, just so you guys don't know my answers, to keep a little bit of mystery in it.
The intrigue.
Yeah. Great question, Johnny.
So our second question comes from our friend Troy Wong, and I think this is probably his 3rd or 4th question, so appreciate all the input. But he asks for our takes on Isiah versus Isiah. So present day Isiah Thomas versus past Isiah Thomas back in the 80s and 90s. So present day Isiah Thomas is currently on Boston Celtics, and OG Isiah was on Detroit. So Timmy, let's start with you. What do you think?
Well, the first thing that I learned is that Isiah Thomas and Isiah Thomas do not spell their names the same way. The OG only has one A in his name, and I realized that when I was trying to look him up and got really frustrated why they only had the new one on Basketball Reference. It's because Isaiah is the original is spelled Isaiah. But anyway, I think the original is better. I don't think the new one is close yet, but his career is also not over, so I'm not sure. But I get the feeling that you two are going to have stronger opinions.
Well, first of all, I'm kind of surprised. I didn't know they were spelled differently either, but I'm kind of surprised they are spelled differently, because you guys know the story behind the new Isaiah's name?
No.
So I heard this somewhere. I can't remember where, but the new Isiah Thomas was named after the old Isiah Thomas because his dad lost the bet.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm surprised that it wasn't verbatim, the spelling Isaiah or whatever it is. But Albert, what do you think?
I don't even think this is really like a debate. I think the OG Isiah Thomas is far and away the superior player. I know that, current day Isaiah is having a phenomenal year, but that is like the epitome of recency bias, because if you look at their careers and career arcs, like the OG Isiah Thomas by this point in his career, because I think current day Isaiah right now in Boston is in year 6, and he's having a great year. Like I said, he's averaging close to 30 points. But the OG Isiah Thomas, like, he had a national championship at Indiana. He was already like a 5-time All-Star at this point. Like, he was like, I think when he joined the league, like, everybody modeled their point guard position after him. And what's funny is, so I'm on Basketball Reference right now, and I'm on the OG Isiah Thomas page, and his nicknames are Zeke and the Baby-Faced Assassin, which is like pretty sick, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at the current day Isiah Thomas, his nickname, Pizza Guy.
Yeah, he always delivers.
Oh, true.
I mean,
delivers in the clutch and fourth.
Come on, man. Pizza Guy.
That's why, right? I think that's why he's called the Pizza Guy, is because he delivers.
I mean, I hope so. I hope so. It's not because of pizzas.
No, I think that's probably Charles Barkley. It's actually because of pizza. As I'll just say, time will tell. I do know, if you compare the stats and championships, OG Isiah has them all. But the biggest difference between them right now is their likability for me. I tell people all the time, like, current day Isiah Thomas is one of my favorite players, and OG Isiah Thomas is one of my most hated players. And I wonder how much of that is because of Michael Jordan and just the history there with not just Isiah Thomas, but the Pistons in general. Like with you, Albert, specifically, I wonder if we were a little older back in the 80s, late 80s, I wonder how you would have felt about Isiah Thomas.
Yeah.
You think you would have gone like against the grain and really loved him while everyone else hated him?
That's a good
For
point.
sure.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I mean, he was part of the Bad Boys dynasty, and he was basically the player or the spearhead to the team that everybody hated, and so I'm sure 100% he's probably like a Russell Westbrook when Kevin Durant was still on the team. So
no.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of likability, like, people hated Westbrook. And then that's when I started liking him more. So to answer your question, yeah, maybe Isiah Thomas would have been my favorite player growing up.
I don't know about the Russell Westbrook comparison. For me, it's probably more of like a Chris Paul comparison. Like, he kind of has this image where people don't really think he's dirty. So even back then, I don't think Isiah Thomas really had like the dirty kind of moniker to him, right? Like, it was all attributed to like Bill Laimbeer and just the team in general. But people didn't know that, like, he was just probably the worst one out of all of them. But the reason why I hate Isiah Thomas is kind of the same reason why I hate Chris Paul. Like, he's good, and he doesn't need to resort to like the dirty tactics and stuff like that.
Going to the new Isiah Thomas, though, I mean, I think the better comparison has got to be Allen Iverson. In terms of like their role on the team, a lot more scoring versus the original Isiah did a lot more distributing on his team. He averaged like 13, 14 assists for a couple of years. Jeez. So who would you guys take between present day Isiah and Allen Iverson?
Mock.
Oh man, that's so tough.
How is that tough?
Is that tough?
I love present day Isiah Thomas. Like, the only thing I don't like about him is that he plays for Boston Celtics. But other than that, like, I love him. But I also love Allen Iverson.
I mean, only thing that present Isiah has on Iverson that the stats guy will say is his efficiency is better. Shoots his threes better. But this is his first year when he's averaging 29. He's been averaging close to 20, a little over 20 here and there. Iverson averaged like over 30 points a game, or like between 26 and 30 points a game for like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years in a row. It's insane.
So compared to the Russell Westbrooks and the Allen Iversons of the world, I feel like present day Isiah Thomas can play within a system better, and in that way he can kind of elevate other people's games better than those two can.
No, Isiah needs the ball in his hands all the time too. That's why the Kings got rid of him, because he wasn't passing the ball to Boogie. It's the same thing.
I mean, this is just a good segue to just how terrible the Kings are, right? Their front office, like in year 3, like Isiah Thomas was a 2nd-round pick. Like this was a diamond,
60th pick, last pick,
a diamond in the rough, like a legit steal, a legit find. And his 3rd year, he was already averaging like 20 points, over 6 assists, and they decided to let him go. Like, what are you thinking? Like, are you serious?
That would actually be a pretty good nickname for him, Diamond in the Rough, or like Aladdin. That'd be really good.
Aladdin? Okay.
Well, hey, Mark, do you think that Isiah Thomas on the Sixers in 2001 with Dikembe Mutombo and Eric Snow would have gone to the finals?
No, for sure not. But I mean, that's a different time, and Allen Iverson was amazing. He was pretty much unstoppable during that year. Was that the year he won MVP?
Yeah.
So I mean, he was unbelievable, and Eric Snow, I hate that guy. I know Albert's too.
Everybody hates that guy.
I mean, it's just a different time of day, different team as well. But I will say, flip it around, put Allen Iverson on this year's Celtics team. Are they better or worse?
Better for sure.
Better. Wow. They're at least the same.
Iverson with Avery Bradley would be amazing.
Man, Iverson, I think they'd be better, actually. You're right, because I don't know, they need that go-to guy, like the real star. I mean, Isaiah's doing a good impression of it, but I think Iverson would do even better.
I'm pretty sure, like, Isiah right now is, like, top 2 or 3 or maybe 1 overall for fourth quarter scoring. So, I mean, he's become the go-to guy this year. I think he's taken a big step forward from his Kings days and his Suns days.
I think he is 1 in fourth quarter scoring, and he's probably this season like number 1 in terms of clutchness as well. But it's just one season, Iverson did it for Iverson did it for like almost a decade.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's tops in the fourth quarter scoring right now. But I mean, with the inflated pace and everything that's going on here, and versus 15 years ago, wouldn't Iverson score like 35 easily now? 40 maybe.
I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Jason the Jet Terry, because he led the NBA in fourth quarter scoring for like 3 years back in the day.
Was that on the Mavs?
Yeah, it was the Dirk Jet pick and roll all day.
Terrible. Yeah, I never understood why Dallas fans underappreciated the Jet back in the day. But yes, back to the original question. Thank you for the original question, Troy. Isiah versus Isaiah. I don't know if we actually answered it. Albert probably answered it, and I'm going to leave it pretty open-ended. Time will tell. We'll see. For our final third question for today, this comes from our friend Andrew Chow, and he asks what the best theme song of all time is for either a movie or a TV show. Albert, we'll start with you.
This one was really tough, and thanks for the question, Chow. As far as TV shows, I think like for me to say the best, I just think about like if I were to hear this, then where would it take me? Where would it instantly take me, like memory wise? And the 3 TV shows that really popped into my head, like right off the bat, were Fresh Prince, that song with Will Smith.
Yeah, West Philadelphia.
Yeah, Friends. Like every time I hear Friends, like it's gonna be a good 20 minutes. And then Step by Step, just growing up, I heard Step by Step, Day by Day, like so many times. Those 3 for sure.
The question is best. What's the best out of those 3?
Best is tough, man. That's why it's up to your own interpretation.
No, I want you to pick one so I can pick one of the other ones.
All right, so I'm gonna go with something different then. The best theme song of all time is not from a TV show, and it's from a movie, and it's "Take My Breath Away."
All right, Timmy, were you gonna pick that one too?
Yeah. I guess the question's over. No, I was not gonna pick "Take My Breath Away." I was gonna say "Friends," but that's probably because I've seen the show so much that I've heard the song the most out of all of them. One of the other movie theme songs that came into mind immediately was Mission Impossible. That music I think is pretty iconic, and I'm sure Albie loves it too.
Hey Timmy, so Friends is like what 10 seasons?
10 seasons, yeah.
And you've seen the show like 10 times all the way through?
Probably about 15 to 20 times all the way
Okay.
through. 200 plus episodes, 15, 20 times. That's about 4,000 Friends viewings. That sounds about right.
All right. Go ahead, Mark.
I mean, Friends is always good. It's really hard to argue against Friends at any point in time. I will say that Fresh Prince is probably more iconic.
Ooh.
He still gets asked to, perform that whenever he's on random talk shows all over the world, talking about Will Smith. But along with that, I would say James Bond theme song is up there for me, and as well as the Cheers TV show theme song. Sometimes we want to go where everybody knows your name. But I would say the number one overall theme song, greatest theme song of all time for me, is the NBA on NBC theme song.
Oh, man, nice.
Yeah, talking about bringing us back, right? Like, I remember, like, me and Timmy, we were in the same Chinese school class, and every single time in action, we would get like a 10-minute break. We turn on the TV, and then NBC, and then we'd hear that song, and it was amazing. But yeah, thanks for the question, Chow. Thanks to Johnny, Troy, and Chow for the questions. Thanks for tuning in today to Pocket Change Thursday. Hope you guys have a good rest of the day, rest of the week. And please, if you can, throw us a like on Facebook at Six Pennies Podcast and subscribe to us on YouTube.